Hello everybody, this is Cornwallis with a strategy video I call the Sahara Express. So this is a G40 second edition out of box rules, and it's a scenario or a plan that a US player can use when the German player parks a fleet. So this is a situation that could happen after some turns. And season 112, I'm usually accompanied by a fleet of bombers in Western Germany. From there, he can strike at a fleet in 91. So forcing the US player or the ally player in general to invest a lot of money and time in a protective fleet in 91, because 91 is one of the central areas. From there on, the allies can land in Northern Europe or in the Mediterranean. So it's a pivotal that for a German player, of course, that he can prevent this. The general idea is to chuck units from the east coast to the Sahara area. So it's one turn from the east coast to here, and for fast movers they can reach Egypt in 2 turns and the Middle East in 3 turns. So the goal is, of course, that the American player can aid the allies with holding or pushing on into Russia or India from there on, avoiding to invest a lot of money into protective fleet. So of course the question is, what will the Japanese player do? Will he attack J1 or not? This has a small impact on the plans, as I will explain now. So for example, if a J1 happens, then of course US comes at war, then they can move this fleet already to Brazil, picking up a tank, and taking in Brazil. Other than that, no combat moves are made on this side. You can use a bomber on occasional targets, or you can move it to London, but I advise you to move it already to the Africa area. On the Pacific side, no real plans, and only a non-combat move. You need to move the fighter and the transport carrying an infantry and a mechanized to the east coast. They can reach Central America directly, and the fighter you park it here. Other non-combat moves, we move the cannon to the central United States, and we move an infantry to central United States. As of purchases, I purchased 2 transports, a carrier, a destroyer for the Atlantic, and a destroyer for the Pacific. Of course, you can choose to buy something else than the carrier, but you need the 2 transports. Why do I buy a destroyer in the Pacific? That also is of your own liking. So this. But I like to buy something every turn in the Pacific, not to give the Japanese a free hand, but just showing that, okay, there's a very slow build-up. On the second turn, so if, for example, Japan declares a war on turn 2, then this move happens on turn 2. On the second turn, the fleet move to the Sahara area, this as well, picking up the tank and an infantry. From the coast here, we move our protective fleet and the transport coming from the Pacific side. The fleet from 101 picks up 2 mechanized and 2 infantry. So as you can see, we have here 4 fast movers and 4 slow movers. The fast movers will move to Equatorial French Africa next turn, and so on to Egypt. The slow movers, you can opt to slowly build them up, eventually landing in Morocco or Gibraltar. That's of course how the game will develop itself. Next, what do we move as well in the non-combat move? We move these units down, and we move the cannon to Western Africa. You can opt to let the cannon stay here, but I like to chuck a cannon to the Hawaiian Islands, so that we have, at the end of turn 3, we have 2 sets of infantry cannon, to maybe start aiding the Anzac. What do we buy turn 2? We buy 3 fully loaded carriers, so transporters, so every transport carrying an infantry and a mechanized. So we have an extra sub and a mechanized left. So we put our builds. and the sub. Or you can remove it, let it here, because I like to send some subs to start convoying Germany. So I will make an UK video complementary to this strategy, and its main goal is to start convoying to, of course, first protect Egypt, but from then on start convoying Germany, so we can do some damage, because it takes time for these troops to reach the Middle East, and of course Germany can massively attack Russia. So this is the end of our turn 2. So at the beginning of turn 3, these units will move further on. We will have 2 transports coming back. 1 transport picking up these guys. We have 1 transport in reserve, so you can use it to move slow units to South Africa, or if necessary, sacrifice 1 unit, a transport, to take something. And we have our next chunk of units moving to the Sahara area. And we have this in non-combat move. So the general idea is to have units built in central United States, moving them in to southeast Mexico, and from there on you can see you can have a check to the Sahara area. This is a slow build-up, okay? This is of course not written in stone. You can change, of course, some items as your own choice, but the general idea, of course, remains the same. On the Pacific side, it all depends J1 or not, but there it's a slow build-up, and of course from starting on turn 3, once you have your 3 transports, you can upgrade this to 4 transports, of course, but then I would suggest you start building up in the Pacific as well. So this was Cornwallis with an idea called the Sahara Express.